I have an idea, like a concept.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about it. It might seem kind of hokey or kind of weird, but we're like packing for a tour, right?
Yeah.
And so we're doing whatever. And so we have a big bag full of all the hot sauce and all the chiles that we're gonna take to whatever. I wouldn't mind. I mean, it's kind of like
Put
the
it
drug
here?
thing, kind of like the drug thing. Yeah, but we
All
can
right.
kind of use it. If it doesn't
Good.
work, we can get rid of it.
Now let's do it.
But this is literally what we're
gonna
taking
take it
on
out?
tour. Like it's kind
For
of it's like
consumption.
our contraband that we're gonna take.
This is pretty standard for every tour, too.
Every single tour. We have one bottle of tequila. Usually we have more than that.
Why don't you guys go ahead and tell us about one of the bottles?
Okay, start right off the bat. This is basically represents what we are packing for tour, and so I guess to pick one of the bottles, I guess I'll pick the one on top. I guess this is
Salsa Habanero.
yeah, it's Habanero Costilla, I guess is the company, but generally these are plastic bottles, so they're good for travel. And when we go away, we usually take a certain amount of hot sauce and chiles and stuff. And so this is a good representation of what we generally take. Missing right now is Yucateco, the brown one, probably something like that. And then some fresh ones for the plane ride. But otherwise, a lot of these are gifts, a lot of these are personal consumption.
Let's move on. Where are you guys going? What's the first stop?
We're headed out to Bilbao. We fly into Bilbao and we play our first show in the Basque Country over there in País Vasco. We do 10 days in Spain, and then we head east of there and do a whole bunch of countries in Europe: France, Germany, Slovenia. No, not Slovenia.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic, Croatia, Serbia, and
Back to Germany.
Bosnia,
Bosnia.
Banja Luka.
Yeah.
So have you guys played in Basque Country before? I mean, it's
That'll
kind of
be
a
our first
strong
time.
heritage.
That'll
of,
be
our
like,
first
bands
time.
like
First time. We're
Cortatu
really-
and those kind of bands. I mean, dude,
totally.
definitely, like, I could see where you guys are coming from. I mean,
It's
They
interesting
would be
because
huge
we didn't play
influences.
Spain last time we were in the western part of Europe, so
Yeah.
it'll be our first time in Spain, and we're spending so much time there.
Both Spain
But just the
and-
Basque
like 10
Country will
shows
be
over there, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
about half of them will be there. So
Most of the songs there.
it'll be
Yeah.
pretty interesting. But it'll be nice to kick off the tour with the Basque Country.
yeah.
Our band has a really high affinity for the Basque culture and music because of the revolutionary aspect of it.
Yeah.
And also over the weekend, I just found out that my Italian side of the family is actually half of it is from País Vasco.
Well,
Oh, no.
So they're from Victoria.
How could
So
it
I'm
be?
excited about that. Yeah, it's convenient, isn't it?
I'm gonna walk around the streets looking for my great grandfather.
What do you do when you find him?
Abuelo, I don't know. Probably get a shovel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bring him back?
I'd have to. I don't know. I have to work on my science to bring it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
But
So you guys completely avoided Spain before? It just
it wasn't.
I mean,
It wasn't.
It wasn't a
avoiding
thing
it.
about
not
avoiding,
avoiding
it
it.
was just the way the tour
Just didn't
worked
happen.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a gift and a privilege to go anywhere.
Of
Really.
course.
So for us, it just worked out that I think I heard something earlier this past week where they said something about San Francisco, and they said, well, the worst thing about San Francisco is that it's a hard city to leave. That's the worst thing about San Francisco. You know what I mean? And so I think this applies to certain parts of where we've gone recently on tour, like the Balkans in particular. Or Mexico, as well. You know what I mean? Like it's a hard place to leave, so it's just tough to go everywhere. You know what I mean? Because you go, you make some friends, and you make some connections, and you make some relationships, and you want to go back every chance you get.
Yeah.
So,
We always do the strike while the iron's hot type of thing. Like
Yeah.
we just put music down there and shows. Let's go back before they forget about
Also,
it. But
yeah.
eventually we gotta kind of continue on. So
Yeah,
so
I mean,
many places to go.
Yeah.
So many places.
unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of being like able to go everywhere. and
Right,
anywhere
but I
you
mean, you
want.
guys are doing a lot. You
We
guys,
try, yeah, for sure.
and I think like what's really important about you guys going to Spain is just, I mean, in this polarized world where you have these majorities, you got this Anglo world that we live in, and I mean, we also live in this completely Hispanic world, obviously. In the United States here in California, especially, and you guys do like such a strong effort that you put forward, to like unite all of it. I mean, I think going to Spain and going to England is equally as important as
It's
Mexico and the United
Going
States.
anywhere, really.
Yeah.
Going anywhere is equally important to say.
definitely,
I mean,
definitely.
I think the more places you hit to kind of like expand your horizon, because I mean, you can only learn so much from books, but when you actually experience the culture,
Mhm.
traveling or touring and stuff, I think that kind of enriches our music making and our personal experiences. So I mean, it's only acts as a positive, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of communication with other people too around the planning of the tour, and it's pretty exciting to be able to go out and actually go play with some of these bands and hang out with them, hopefully. and but just
Listen,
to be able to experience the shows that they put on out there,
Yeah.
and hopefully get a little bit of the music out there ourselves. So
Yeah. Do you guys ever feel like when you go out on tour and you see the way that that they're doing it somewhere else, and you come back and you kind of have that ember still burning in you?
Yeah,
It's like,
absolutely.
don't you feel like, I
Definitely.
mean, as you're playing here in the U.S., don't you feel like sometimes
The
it's just-
hospitality is a little bit lacking.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's just so cold sometimes.
I would say like if I had my wish would be that people, groups and promoters, mostly promoters, I guess mixed also with the bands themselves, like would have a cultural exchange.
Yeah.
I guess as far as how like because I would say since we've been to other places and in particular like the way that they sort of run things in Europe, you know what I mean, whether it be the Balkans or which is however you want to perceive it, but when you go there, there's even if it's like an independent anarchist, squat and it's so well organized, it's so wonderful, it's so beautiful, and well since we got back, I'd like one too. Since we've been back from the original times that we've been over there, what it does is it motivates you to do even more as far as when groups come from other places to really treat them.
Yeah.
Also, to, I don't know. It's a whole history of. There's certain parts of this world, certain parts of this world that really appreciate art and the creation of art, and they're willing to sort of support it and stuff like that. And in this country, unfortunately, sometimes things become really sort of diluted or thrown to the side, I guess. And the arts is one of those things. You know what I mean? So I would think that it would be a very nice thing for people from every single continent, particularly in the form of like hosts and promoters, to see how everybody else works, to see what would be the best thing to support the arts. I guess, ultimately.
And I mean, beyond art, I mean, the message that you guys bring out from the U.S., and going and meeting all these people in Europe and all over the Americas and whatever, it's I think a lot of people have certain ideas about what's going on over here, and
Sure.
beyond art, it's
the same
punk rock, art
same
and
assumptions
politics.
that somebody would have about places that we've been to, I guess. You know what I mean? The same assumptions exist from that country to this origin, I guess. You know what I mean? So a lot of them are incorrect on both sides for sure.
One thing I think that you hear a lot, like, from, I mean, I've been told several times from people who maybe they immigrated here as kids and their parents tried to prepare them and said, you're going to the United States, and they've said, in the U.S., everybody is an island. I mean, if you think about it for a minute, when you walk out on the street in another country, do you ever get that feeling where it's like, you could slap somebody's hand or shake somebody's hand, and it's like, I don't know, the web is different. I mean, people.
I've heard that the concept of personal space is a Western concept.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so just that alone, if you think about China, if you think about certain places where the saturation of human bodies or whatever, I definitely think that when you're in a bustling city, as Pag said, that's a perfect word. In a bustling city, you kind of feel like you're more kind of like part of the fabric, you know what I mean, as opposed to having like your little unit that's kind of bumping around or whatever. It's not bumper cars really over there. It's kind of like you're a wave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's definite. That's for sure. Whether you're in DF trying to get on the metro at a certain time, or you're anywhere else. You know what I mean? I think I really believe that personal space to a certain degree when you're in a bustling city, whatever, is a privilege, and also like not something that everybody really kind of experiences.
Right.
The general, I would say the majority of the world doesn't have that same experience, and I really feel like I think that the opposite, being part of the wave, is probably the best way to go.
Yeah.
It is
Do you
what
get
it
that
is.
feeling when you're in Western Europe at all?
I don't know, because honestly,
We've
I don't
mostly
think we
been in the
really
van.
got we didn't
Yeah.
really get an
Yeah.
experience, because we
Yeah.
would be there for a couple hours, and then it's like,
We spent a lot of
all right,
time
monkeys
traveling.
back in the
We're
van.
mostly in the van.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Mostly in the
You don't
van.
see
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
you see a lot
fortunately,
actually,
you
but
see
you
a
don't
lot,
see
but you
anything
don't
from outside.
Experience it, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
We were fortunate to actually spend more time in the Balkans. We had 7 days in Macedonia because of visa issues or whatever. And I thought we got a pretty good grasp of the daily life there and stuff. And we were able to kind of like live 7 days. In
Corner store guys in the U.S. at the end, they're like, oh, you fucking assholes.
Still, yeah.
These guys
still
buying
to-
beer again?
And to be honest, to have that experience and be able to kind of like experience that in every single city they go to,
Yeah.
it's kind of an impossibility. But
And it's happened to us everywhere. I mean, we were just talking about this incident the other day where we were in Michoacan, and we had been, I don't know how many days into tour already a while of playing, partying, getting in the van, doing it all over again,
And getting sick along the way.
and getting
and
sick
stuff.
along the way, and what have you, mosquito bites. And we
Razor
ended up in Michoacan, and all of us just said we can't. And great show, great energy, a lot of
friends.
good work put into the event.
We just couldn't stay up and party
And
that
at
night.
the end, they said
Yeah.
after party where you guys are staying at, and all of
Had
us
to lock 'em
fucking
out.
there was a whole fucking party going on, and we were.
Jesus.
and we all
And we were
slept
like,
all
we
of
were
us.
in
We were in one
Seven
room, and
people,
we
I
all
think.
went to that room.
And they're like, "Where are those?"
Which is
assholes
rare
at?"
because
So it's
usually
like-
one of us will fucking go
At
party.
least one of us.
But
you know?
all
We hit the
five,
wall, we
all
all hit
five
the
of us.
wall.
So it was really hard, you know. It was just
Yeah.
kind of like, God damn it, dude! I would love to be able to speak to every one of these people here and be
Yeah.
able to at least remember one person, you know. But
We're pretty spent.
The-
at
the-
that
the-
point, it was just kind of like, God, what do you do, you know?
That
But
reminds me of Rieka last time when we tried to stay up.
yeah,
That was early in the tour.
exactly. Yeah,
And
yeah.
That was the first show.
And
wasn't
I
it?
was like, "You're all pussies."
This is the first show of the tour, by
First
the way.
time, first time.
First
yeah.
show, last tour,
Yeah.
or I guess it was second show.
Buka. Buka.
Yeah,
No,
Palak.
Palak, yeah.
When we
Yeah.
played
That
outside.
was the first show,
And
right?
then last year we played
Yeah.
outside, and then the party was. You guys were already.
You guys were on the.
We slept in the
inflatable
art,
mattress.
in the art
Oh, there
gallery.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
hung
out, we hung out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these
we
guys
hung
were
out.
already asleep.
And
So
then like we hung out for a couple beers, and then like we were trying to go after
They
that,
were-
and
yeah.
Like,
I think the reality is that like I read an interview or I saw an interview or I heard an interview with Joe Strummer where he said when you're on tour you're shattered,
Yeah.
and so like it's not a bad complaint. It's probably the best complaint that a band could possibly have. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so it's not something whatever. But the reality is that like the human condition, and it just has to do with timing and previous history or whatever. Like it is what it is. It's natural. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a complaint that it's a bad complaint. I guess it would be a good complaint to have so much support in certain areas or whatever. But unfortunately, just like anybody else, like I said, if Joe Strummer, he said you're shattered on tour. The reality is, at a certain point, you're shattered on tour because of the demands of what it is to play, what it is to possibly sound good, also see friends, and also just we're not a band that kind of goes from I guess hotel to gig and back to hotel. You know what I'm saying? We kind of hit the street and we try to maximize our experience. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's the reality, and so that's one of those. Like Master was saying, it's like you can deny and you can say I'm going for it, but the reality is at one point the body shuts
Right.
down. You have to reboot the computer.
Yeah.
the reality is you're whatever. I guess this tour will be about 25 shows. We're playing 25 shows. They're seeing you once, no matter what city you're in.
Right.
So for them, it's the one-time
No, but
thing,
no.
and for us, it's 25
Same
times.
as Jimmy?
Like,
No.
Whew, it just takes its toll. So.
yeah, it definitely does. But I mean,
It's not a
we
bad
also try to do the thing where there's certain people or certain things that may not be as crazy as the after party, but it's lunch at so and so's mother's house. My mother is making this lunch for us,
That's the most.
and those are the
important
ones
thing
where you're
ever.
like, yes, of
Sure.
course.
Hell yeah.
Like we need to make that. We're gonna get the stuffed cabbage or whatever it may be at the time, and it's you're sitting there for an hour before you got to hit the road again. It's like you really savor those. It's like being home. You're just like, yes,
Yeah.
I'm amongst
warm
family,
embrace.
and we're there, and we're like, all right, let's go. We got our energy,
Yeah.
and it's those kind of things that you got to kind of make the time for.
All right, well, let's just get this done, man, real quick.
All right.
So, La Plebe, first show of the tour. I think all we really want to know is, what do you have to say to the people you're about to go meet right now? Hi. Hello.
Yeah, no, super sweet. We established some good bonds, some good friendships, and something that we can, carry on for the next couple years.
What about everybody you're leaving here?
We're taking everybody with us in our heart, to be honest with you. So,
And thanks for coming out on a fucking Tuesday.
for the wedding.
That's part of the reason why we do a show the day before we leave, is to really take the vibe and to take the energy from this show to the next show.